So Elon now owns Twitter officially, and he is running the company. But will this move the needle ahead for free speech and ultimately a good functioning democracy like we all want this country to be? We'll get into that. We're going to cover some highlights. All my opinion, which is what matters most to me, because I like to believe everything I think, and I want you to believe everything I think too. Far from the truth. I want you to think for yourself. I just sent out, actually 3 hours ago, I did a censorship test tweet on Twitter. Now that Elon's taken over, I thought, what the heck? Worst thing that happens is I get kicked off Twitter. My Twitter existence doesn't matter that much to me. But my censorship test, I hit 1, 2, 3, 4 hot buttons that if I told you what I tweeted here on Twitter, I would potentially be deplatformed completely off YouTube. I would expect I would. So I'm not going to tell you what I tweeted. You can check my Twitter. But what I will tell you is 3 hours later, still on Twitter. The post is still there. Nothing's happening, which is exactly what we would want in a free speech oriented platform. So that's kind of cool. Will Elon move the needle ahead? I think maybe it's already inched the needle ahead. Right away, after he walked into Twitter carrying a sink, which whatever, let that sink in. Whatever his intention was of that, I don't know, but it was kind of a cool spectacle. Right away, he fires the CEO, the CFO, I think the COO, and people that were responsible for banning President Trump, banning truth that was tweeted out about the Hunter Biden laptop story with the New York Post. So it's pretty interesting. He is already clearing house. There's talk, I believe he mentioned to his investors that he'll be firing 75% of all employees. I believe as of this time, that avalanche is yet to start. We'll see what happens there. It's also been announced that he's going to basically ban permanent bans, which is super cool. There's strong speculation that people who have been banned for the frivolous reasons, not talking about people who have used Twitter to commit crimes. That's not free speech. That's criminal activity. But it's said that people who were banned for the frivolous leftist censorship reasons will be reinstated. President Trump, of course, would be the most interesting person to see what happens there. Strong speculation that Elon will reinstate President Trump, reinstate Babylon Bee. That's awesome. By the way, one of the most interesting things about this is we could ask the question back in, I think, March, when Twitter banned the Babylon Bee, basically said, hey, your account is permanently disabled unless you go delete the tweet where you said that the biological man is a man. When they were talking about, I believe, one of Biden's people, the transgender person, Rachel, I think her name is. But the Babylon Bee said, no, we're a principled group. So the principle of you getting us, trying to coerce us into censoring ourselves, we're not into that. We're going to stand on principle, even if that means not reaching any of our Twitter followers ever again. And then I had a personal conversation with Seth Dillon, the founder of the Babylon Bee. Elon texts them. They had a phone call, and on that call, Elon said, maybe I'll buy Twitter. And I don't know what the Babylon Bee getting banned from Twitter, was that 1% the inspiration for Elon to start pursuing the buying of Twitter like he started many months ago? Was it 10%? Was it 80%? Was that the straw that broke the camel's back? I don't know. Seth Dillon didn't know. But it's just interesting how the Babylon Bee is, a potential reason why this is all happening. Now, I think one of the most glorious things about what's happening so far with Elon now taking Twitter over is the leftists melting down, freaking out. Probably at home, no, not at home, but on the sidewalk somewhere out in the open, rage crying. The world doesn't feel like a safe space now that an African American owns and runs Twitter, which is pretty funny. I do mean it. I think the leftists melting down, it is highly entertaining. I'm glad it's happening. It's just fun to watch. And I've seen some of the rationale why the left is melting down, and some people are saying, well, oh, okay, like Elon wants to take over Twitter, or he wants to do away with censorship. This is gonna destroy free speech. I don't know how a logical mind can conclude that. The only thing that destroys free speech is, in fact, censorship. And their sort of mass formation psychosis conclusion is, without censorship, there will be no more free speech. That's just hilarious to watch. It's such an exaggeration from the reality we live in, but people actually believe it. So I think it's kind of funny. And then I'm also seeing some of the leftist complaints saying, oh, Elon's just buying Twitter and taking over because he's money motivated. To that, I'd say, I hope he is. And I agree. That's probably why he's bought Twitter and is taking it over to run it. Here's why I think that's a great thing. The beauty of capitalism is when you deliver something of value to people, you get rewarded in exchange to that. And in a free market, open capitalistic society, not greedy, manipulative, not capitalism based on deception. Some people do that. I don't like it. I don't like any form of deception. But when someone is doing a straightforward, here's a valuable good or service, and you give your money, your attention, advertisers give their money in exchange, what that does is it helps a good thing grow. And a businessman with good intentions, they are very motivated to deliver a very good service because that's how you make money. Does that make sense? So I think already he is moving the needle ahead. Let's just say the permanent bans that Twitter has been handing out so frivolously, if those are simply eliminated, and maybe free speech isn't perfect on Twitter, but it becomes 20% improved beyond the tyrannical regime that it's been, that moves the needle ahead. That's already making Twitter a better service and therefore more valuable. Because right now, free speech platforms, they're rare. There's some good ones out there, but they're rare. And Twitter, as big as it's become over the 12 or so years it's been in existence, it can be a powerhouse. And it's become very devalued. Stock price had plummeted before Elon ever showed interest in buying it. And that's because censorship, it's not the rare commodity. Free speech platforms are the rare commodity. So making something that's censorship free, it actually allows free speech to happen. That is a very valuable service to offer society. So I sincerely hope that Elon is very money motivated to this, with his takeover of Twitter, because I think that gives you and I in society a much more valuable experience. And I'm not a communist, I'm a capitalist. Therefore, I believe Elon should and will be very well rewarded monetarily for improving Twitter. And then I also see some leftists melting down, and they're saying, oh, Elon's taking over Twitter, and he's going to destroy the company. It'll tank. It can't succeed under his ownership with what he wants to do. Okay, so the existing business model of Twitter has tanked the stock prices, and it also has this business plan. All the executives probably sat around one day like, all right, you know what we should do to grow our platform? We should ban users from using our platform. We'll censor them. We'll deplatform people like that. What a great way. We can eliminate our customer base in order to grow our business. I don't think that's a good business plan. That appears as though it's pretty much the opposite of Elon's business plan. And a note, Elon has said, and I forget his exact quote, he has blatantly said, with what I want to do to Twitter, make it a town square where free speech can function. That doesn't mean a place where all hell can break loose. One of the number one arguments I hear people make against free speech, which baffles my mind, how someone can be against free speech. But one of the number one arguments is, well, then you'll have people like making death threats and doing things like that. Free speech does not mean criminal activity. Those are very different things. There's criminal activity that can be facilitated through words. That is illegal. And that's not free speech. That's criminal activity. That's not what I support, as I 100% support free speech. And Elon has said that's not what he supports. That's not what he wants to do with Twitter. As the left melts down, largely freedom lovers everywhere are celebrating Elon taking over Twitter. I think, yes, Elon absolutely moves the needle ahead for all of us freedom lovers and free speech lovers. The question is, how far does he move the needle? I don't think this is the end-all be-all. I think this is a great improvement. I think it's momentum for freedom, for free speech. Case in point, the Biden administration is already launching the Department of Justice investigating Elon. So you can see, well, that's probably a real good sign. If he's a threat to their agenda, then he is a support to the freedom agenda. But I don't think by any means does this mean like, hey, we don't need to do work anymore as freedom lovers. This is it. It's like, no, this is a help. It's good. But there's still way more progress we need to make in the world, in our country, so free speech can reign. So long story short, I'm excited about Elon. I think this is also a beautiful, entertaining movie to watch. You see the leftists melting down, this weird dude, Elon, who's a genius in many realms. He's taking over, what's he gonna do? Walks in with a kitchen sink. So there's so much entertainment value outside of the value of moving the needle ahead for free speech. So I'm going to be staying tuned, see what happens with this. By the way, I've got now Elon freedom speech Twitter merch on my shop. Just a little shameless promotion. If you want to get on the free speech amplification wagon, you can check out all my merch only at awakenwithjb.com. And less shameless plug. I also want to let you know, if you haven't heard, my comedy special, fully uncensored special made for freedom lovers by a freedom lover, is available for streaming now. It's called Please Censor This. And you can go to pleasecensorthis.com. Link is also in the description here. I've got the standalone special. It's a 1-hour stand-up comedy special. I've also got the Freedom Lovers VIP bonus edition with some, what I think are really awesome bonus video features. I've also got, one of the bonus features is entry to my Freedom Lovers community, which you get to be a part of. I share things with you there where I can't share anywhere else online for censorship reasons. I do weekly live streams there, and it's a place for freedom lovers to build momentum, have their voice heard, be informed, get access to some of me and information that's not available anywhere else. So all that's available at pleasecensorthis.com. The shameless self-promotional plugs have now come to an end. And I want to understand what you think about Elon Musk buying Twitter. How much do you think it'll move the needle ahead? Do you think it won't move the needle ahead? Let me know in the comments. Look forward to seeing what you think about this very entertaining occurrence that's happening in our world today.